Hello and good evening, everybody. Happy May the 4th be with you. I'm your host, Ronan Unchained, and it is almost 50 years since Star Wars entered Earth's history, this planet's history. And I'm just fortunate that this Latino kid from North Hollywood got into this galaxy far, far away when I was 4 or 5. So if you all are out here watching this, thank you right now so much on the live. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, comments, share it right now. Enthusiasm. I'll read through your question stuff. We have a lot to talk about today on this May the 4th. But also to let it out, feliz día de Star Wars, feliz día del 4 de mayo para todos los latinos que están en español. Y mañana en donde estoy yo, en 3 horas, es el 5 de mayo. So, temprano, feliz 5 de mayo para todos los latinos, específicamente los de México. Y tenemos mucho que discutir, mucho de hablar de Star Wars en la celebración del día. Estaremos hablando todo desde lo que yo ahorita experiencié con Mandalorian and Grogu IMAX Special Look Event, con lo que he visto ya terminando la primera temporada de Maul Shadow Lord, y también estaremos hablando un poco de lo que ando yo poniendo cada mes hoy, de mi camino a la película, ya que hará su estreno, y en casi 48 horas, o 36, no sé las matemáticas, Star Wars Celebration tickets going to go on sale. So we're going to be talking about a lot of that stuff. So disfruten, y si tienen preguntas o comentarios, por favor, pónganlo abajo y yo los leería y hablaría con ustedes con lo mejor que puedo. But everybody, I'm not going to lie. Today was a lot, not because of the stuff we've gotten, but just this week is going to be a lot for a lot of us hardcore fans who either do content or don't do content or are just fans. But I'm going to tease a little bit of this because I don't know if I'm really fully yet ready to talk whole of Maul Shadow Lord, but I will give you a little tease of what I experienced with this finale. So if you have not seen the finale, please watch it. I'm going to do my best to not spoil too much, but to tell you that Maul Shadow Lord Season 1 is incredible. It is a new achievement in Lucasfilm animation, in my opinion. And I'm going to be trying to find the right time either tomorrow or maybe on Saturday or Wednesday to talk more about this. But I can't believe I'm putting myself to this, but this won't be the last time this week that you'll be seeing me talking about Star Wars in any capacity. But we have some comments already, so I want to just give them a shout out. Keebly Master Jeffrey says, "Dang it, Ronan, I'm about to go to bed. I'll watch it on playback. Happy Star Wars Day, y'all." Sorry, Jeffrey. I literally wanted to go live early on, but it was just like trying to fix the time of like, all right, did I put everything up for Maul Shadow Lord, and am I going to make it to the Mandalorian and Grogu IMAX special look event? So hopefully you can watch it on the rewatch. But Harrison James 4020, hello there. May the 4th be with you all. Thank you, Harrison James. May the 4th be with you too. Damn, that Maul finale. Yep. Joe Pat Jake, hey, may the 4th be with us. Jake, if you want to join the live stream, just let me know and I'll send you the link. Okay, man. But yeah, just a few small thoughts on it is that Maul Shadow Lord Season 1 it's up there, y'all. It is up there for me. To me, this does past what Clone Wars and Bad Batch and even the Tales of 3 anthology series achieved, and just dials it up to 11 and throws in a little bit of Andor tequila in terms of vibe, tone, exploration with characters, and dialogue, in my opinion. I don't know if he ever's going to watch this, but Matt Mikinovitz, Brad Rao, all the writers in this show, Sam Witwer, Gideon Atlin, Vanessa Marshall, all of y'all, just a round of applause to the whole cast and crew of Maul Shadow Lord. You guys broke new ground, in my opinion. And this show has been getting a hell of a lot of views on Disney Plus. And I'm proud to say that it's up there, if not probably more, with another show that I'm loving as well right now that's non-Star Wars related, which is Daredevil Born Again. So I'm happy that Star Wars and especially animation is still going strong after all these years. And I just love that. That's awesome for me. Harrison J says that, hey, Jake, and Star Wars fans are eating good. Hey, Harrison, sure. All right, I'll send it to you right now, Jake. But yeah, just phenomenal. I'll probably bring in right now Jake to see if he's seen it, Maul Shadow or not. But I just say this to me, and we'll talk about it when I bring up other friends throughout the week. To me, the penultimate episode was the strongest episode, in my opinion, of what we got of the finale. But the finale just had my mouth open because of how sad it got and how it didn't stray away from its DNA. This is bad guy versus worst guys. Even if the bad guys win, even if the worst guys lose, it's a bad day. It's not a good time for the galaxy. And I love that kept that, and you feel it because you're following these characters who walk a gray line. Some not, some more than others, but they do walk a gray line. And it was just a ball of a time. And I know that it was a lot of hectic to view it because people were around the world, either in towards the east side of the world, had seen it earlier than everybody, and I was just doing my best to avoid spoilers. And I think a lot of us were doing that as well. And yeah, man, how do y'all feel about the finale? Did it again, I don't think this is a big spoiler. I thought we were expecting it, but this, man, when this lean into it, I was just like, I've been waiting since Solo: A Star Wars Story came out in theaters, and I was like, you know what? I like this movie. It's not great. I don't love it, but I really like it. But that element, Crimson Dawn, Dryden Voss, and Kira, do more with that. That is a tapestry with a bunch of potential, and luckily, comics have been doing that. There was a novel, but I just love they brought in the element of Crimson Dawn and Dryden Voss into the show, and it makes sense logistically, timing wise, and yeah, man, I'm still processing what I've seen and still trying to process what everybody's feel about it, because I know how I feel about it, but also I'm part of a community. I like to think, hope, and so I'm wondering how the community feels about that as well. Um, and we'll see how they feel about it, and I promise you, I'll get into more as the week goes about detail about how I feel about this finale. It is just incredible stuff. The music, man, the Kiners with either the new stuff or familiar stuff that we've heard, giving their stink, if you will, with the music, just is just gorgeous. And I'm so happy that they're working on Ahsoka, and I can only bet that maybe Kevin Kiner and his children, who also work on these shows, are going to be probably doing Dave Filoni's film when we eventually get to that project. But and also shout out to David Collins and the sound team. Man, between the Maul screaming and his lightsaber swings, between the crow and his screeching, the way Merrick comes across like a detective, but like a psychopathic detective, and yeah, man, just glorious stuff. And love with the show. It's up there with my favorite Star Wars project of all time. Might be the recency bias speaking. LOL. That's true. I mean, again, to me, my DNA, besides the movies I grew up with, which is like the original trilogy and the prequels, my DNA of things that right now that mean a lot to me is Rebels, it's The Mandalorian, it's Andor, and it's stuff like Maul Shadow Lord or the Tales of the Jedi, or Tales of the Bounty Hunter, or Bad Batch, or even the last season of Clone Wars. Like, that's the material that I love so much right now. That's my DNA, and I think I do a good balance of like Imperials, Rebellion stuff, and then Jedi's and Sith stuff. So who knows? But yeah, I could understand that notion, Harrison James. I'll just say Lawson brought tear to my eyes as well. Yep, and especially when I thought about it again, he is played by a Latino, Wagner Mora, and him and his son do give off Latino DNA shades, and so it was very at times very poignant and a little bit hard to be like, wow, that feels like stuff that I may or may not have gone through with my father. And I'll just leave it at that because I don't want to get into too personal stuff. But yeah, more solo stuff, please. Exactly, Hunter Allen 1099. Yeah, more solo Star Story stuff. I don't need to see Han a lot, but the material and the stuff that movie opened up, absolutely, please dive into it. Dive into it, y'all. Let's see what else. The Maul and Daki dynamic was super interesting. Yeah, I mean, there was from a split moment a quote unquote balance between the light and the dark, and we got that with Daki and Maul. And at points, even though I knew that Maul at the end was going to be very manipulative, it was fascinating to see that go back and forth, and at times being like, do I buy this? the notion of like strategy against. I don't even want to say it. That's how I feel. Oh, someone already said, but yeah. Um, yep, yep, yep. Shameless plug, but please go watch my reactions to it. Um, it is just I was freaking out. I can't believe what I was watching. I was like, I for sure thought that this element was gonna maybe come down the line, but who knows? Um, oh my gosh, did I just get a super chat? Oh my gosh, Hunter Allen 1099. Thank you so much for $2. I have never gotten a super chat. That is freaking me out. There's a report that the Mandalorian might be ending. I don't know about that, and I'll leave it at that. I don't know that. To me, I think there's still a lot to do with this era of the New Republic, i.e., the Mandoverse, and I think with Ahsoka season 2 coming down the line, I think there's more stuff to do. And I was talking to this when I went to the Mando and Grogu IMAX event with others that I was like, right now, even though it was already announced that Dave was going to do a movie, I don't need them to rush to that. I don't rush to it. Take your time with it. Be ready that by the time you do go forward with that film, that everything is set in motion. And again, I'm comparing it because it's what it feels like the lead up to. It's like Infinity War. It's like, all right, did we get all the characters, developments that we got all that set? Okay, cool. Everybody's set up. You know where we're at. You know where we're heading to. And when we get to, i.e., Dave Filoni's film, Infinity War / Heir to the Empire, whatever it's going to be called, whatever, that we're set. That if you haven't been following up, that good luck to you. But we've been setting stones of the road leading now. And but who knows? Who knows where we're going to go? That a lot could change between now and I think, quite frankly, in Star Wars Celebration, we'll be still hearing more announcements about the stuff. I think. Aura, as the kids say, yeah, pertaining to that other element, yeah, I agree. That's awesome. But yeah, until Jake gets here, and then I'll let him talk a little bit of Maul Shadow Lord. I want to say this that I was very fortunate to go to the Mandalorian and Grogu IMAX special event. It was a trip to get to that location, but I had not been to a movie theater in a little bit, so I was like, you know what, it's worth it. It's Star Wars Day. Let me do the pilgrimage. And y'all, listen. So I think accurate with my estimation of like what we're gonna see with this film, with this footage, like what is gonna be in the middle of the movie. Like they fell outside. It's gonna be 25 minutes of footage that you will see in the IMAX theater. And I could say this, that like it was pretty much, I think, the footage they showed the exhibitors and the media at CinemaCon. I'm pretty damn sure it's the same footage, and I have friends saying like, all right, is this where it ended? And I think both of us that we've seen had ended in this way. But I was fortunate to see it, and I like what I saw, y'all. I really like what I saw, y'all. I'm pretty sure that I saw the first 25 minutes of the movie, which is something else. And man, we just go into it. If you don't want to know too much into this film, I get it. Favor this stream and then come watch it later on. But if you don't mind hearing a little bit of the reports, again, a lot of this stuff has already been out. So I'm just giving you my perspective. But if you want to go into this project cold, I understand. And I've probably been in your shoes and would want to stay away from hearing other people's thoughts and details of it. But if you do, here are my thoughts of it. Yes, there is no opening crawl with this film. It is a very much like tech stuff that we got in Solo of like the Galactic Empire has fallen, and the lawless Outer Rim, the Mandalorian and his Padawan, not Padawan, but his ward, whatever the detail was, Grogu, are taking care of these remnants who want to destroy the galaxy, whatever it says. But it was basically 2 paragraphs highlighting the Galactic Empire fallen, the New Republic, Mandalorian, and Grogu. And it opens up with basically the end of a mission where Din is hunting down this warlord. That was one of the warlords we saw in the penultimate episode of Mandalorian Season 3 called The Spies, where we saw the Shadow Council. One of those guys is the main guy that he's being hunted down. And I pretty much saw a minute or two of this footage in Japan last year, which is practically been over a year now. So If you want to see anything of my Star Wars Celebration coverage of last year, it's on the channel. Go watch it. And yeah, man, I love that there's a Warner in this movie, y'all, and I was so happy that they kept that this movie. I think it would have been a missed opportunity if they cut it, quite frankly. And let's see, yeah, man, man, it's hard on me to describe seeing people that I've seen pre-COVID on television make the jump to the silver screen. It was, and I said in my tweet, it was a mind seeing characters like Zeb or seeing Sigourney Weaver, Colonel Ward on the big screen and be like, this is real. This is not a fake. This is not trailer or footage online. This is actually a movie being presented, a portion of a movie being presented to me. And it's with a character I've known since 2015 and with a woman that I've admired, adored, and loved since I was a kid in a Star Wars movie. And it's been 7 years since I saw a Star Wars movie in the theater. And it was just, I was like, what is happening, man? This is real. And it was true that the opening, there is credits with credits, people saying, Pedro Pascal, Jeremy Allen White. I was so heartwarming. It was heartwarming to see Brendan Wayne and Lateef Crowder getting credits, like the third or fourth credit in the picture. And then you got a couple of the Imperial actors. You got Steve Blum getting a credit, and then it has and Sigourney Weaver, and Martin Scorsese as well. And so that was just mind-bending to me. Hell yeah, nice, Ron. Thank you, Harrison James. They released the first 5 minutes on Disney Plus. There you go. That's cool. That's cool that y'all got to see on Disney Plus. I'm telling y'all, you're gonna want to see in the footage, man. You want to see this in the movie theater. Okay, I get it. People saying, I just feel like an episode of The Mandalorian. But as I've been saying, a lot has happened the past 7 years. TV has evolved and become more cinematic. And I'm telling y'all, when stuff expanded, you felt the weight, distance, and like height of like, oh shoot, it's in the footage. That's an Imperial Walker. And we got to get up there and do something about that. Yeah, man, it was freaking. And then hearing new music from Ludwig. There's a sequence in the Warner that there's a piece of music. I'm like, oh, I can't wait to hear that in the playlist. And I think it's somewhere already online, hopefully. And yeah, man, just like, again, when we were getting touched down to a Delphi base, it felt very Top Gun-ish. People weren't kidding. I think it was John Rocco told me, who was saying like, yeah, it felt, the credit sequence felt like the opening of Top Gun, but without Danger Zone, just the Mandalorian theme. And I'm telling y'all, it was freaky hearing that theme in the movie theater. And again, seeing Mando, Din Djarin, be very Batman-esque. Where like, again, the first thing I see of him is just he passes through the frame and he shoots an Imperial trooper. And it's just like, oh shoot, okay, we're going for it. There's no playthrough, no, just no setup, nothing, just boom, and it's awesome. Hey, Ronan. Hey, Cameron Walker. Good seeing y'all. If you have any questions, want to talk about anything of Star Wars Day, may the Fourth be with you. Let me know in the comment section. I never thought we'd get live action Zeb. So stoked. Again, Harrison James, go back to Mando season 3, and I have my thoughts on Mando season 3 when we get to the Foundling episode, I think, and we cut to Adelphi base, and we hear that like da da ding ding da da music from the composers, and we see Carson Teva, and we see Trapper Wolf and his X-wing crew, and we see a Lazat walking, and then you hear, "Shame, I thought Navarro will have a chance. That there's an inspection monster swamp. You never get there in time, and I like your attitude. Good luck. You're gonna need it." I was freaking out because I'm like, is that a Lasada or is that actually my man, Gareth Zabarelios? And it was. That was a great night. And if my memory's right, that was the same night that the Bad Batch season 2 finale hit, where when have we ever fallen orders? Like, oh man. Kevin Walker said, Ronan, Universal just released a new trailer for the Odyssey. Yeah, I'm aware. Probably that's the reason why probably people are now flocking to that and doing a reaction right now. I get it. I'll probably get to it as soon as I'm done with this. Although I still have to shoot something for my channel of just the Mandalorian and Grogu special look IMAX event. But I'll probably do a reaction later on. And but again, it's Universal, so they're very tricky with copyrights. But part of me doesn't want to watch it, not because I don't believe in Nolan, and not because I not excited for the movie. I'm excited for the movie. I saw the prologue is one of the best experiences I've ever had in a movie theater. It's just that I know so little of the Odyssey story and the footage that I'm like, maybe this is the coldest I want to go into a Nolan movie, other than Tenet, where I was like, I don't know what's happening except for just espionage stuff. So who knows? Maybe Cameron Walker. Maybe y'all will convince me to watch the trailer later on. We'll see. I won't do it on the live stream, unfortunately, just because it's copyrights, and I'm building my bones with this channel and these live streams. But I haven't seen the Maul show except Darth Vader clip. Man, Cameron, I am so sorry. That bums me out a little bit, Cameron. That bums me out because I wish you would experience the show and then got to that moment of, again, like a lot of us were denial, and be like, okay, there's mist. And then we should have caught it when me and Ant were watching it, like they're heading his way. And then there's someone out there. And like, yeah, I'm sorry that, hopefully you liked it and dug it, but I'm so sorry that like you got spoiled that way. I wish you would experience the show the way a lot of us did. It's that conundrum, man. It's the way I feel right now about Mandalorian and Grogu, that like there's some people who are gonna go into this movie without having seen the show, and that's a unique experience that I'm hope that they get to enjoy it, but they miss out on the journey we've been through with these characters and how something as a mass reveal and how much connection of like didn't like this kid or not go in a long way instead of just jumping into a story. But I think that's the challenge of this film that might do that, and we'll see. And speaking of jumping in, we have Joypad Jake entering Galaxy. How you doing, Jake?
Doing good. Yourself?
I am tired and I'm excited all at the same time. It's been a lot these past 48 hours of
Heard that.
Of just like working and being like, okay, I gotta get home before the episodes from Maul drop, and then oh my gosh, tomorrow I gotta get to this theater and go and see this stuff, and then I gotta get ready for the next few days for celebration tickets to go on sale, and I'm not gonna have enough money for that, so I need a drink probably later. I don't know.
Yeah, I need more than one. I feel that. Yeah.
But how have you been? How's your May the 4th been thus far?
Not too bad. I got a few things done today. I did put out a Star Wars short, celebrating the themed event, asking everybody, what some of their favorite installments were. Opened myself up to fire, but actually didn't get any, surprisingly. At least not that I've seen yet. But give the internet time. I'm sure they won't disappoint, even though they disappoint us a lot. But yeah, I've just been scouring across these different groups that I'm a part of. I say, hey, this is how I, look at, the products in this franchise. This is how you see it. Right. And I've been pretty lucky for the most part today. I'll say that, hey, this is how we see it. I'll see another person go, this is how I see it. And we can happily converse back and forth without taking shots at each other, which is what the internet should be. But alas, I realize I'm not wearing the right hat for this at all, but I don't actually own a Star Wars hat.
You are wearing the right hat, my friend. Again, folks, like this, when I think of Jake, even when I meet him and if he's not wearing the hat, I'm like, where the fuck is the hat, Jake? And I'm gonna be like, where's the hat, dude? And then I'll be like, yo, Jake, we're walking probably downtown San Diego. I'll be like, Jake, tell me, how'd you get that hat?
That is probably going to be some of the most said words throughout that entire week, now that I think about it.
Yeah.
If that's not turned into a gag at some point by someone, then I'll be shocked.
That's no, not surprised. Before we get to, go ahead, Jake.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, I asked in the short that I put out today, I asked, my audience what their, like out of the 11 films that we've gotten so far, because, Mando's coming in a couple weeks. Mm-hmm. I asked everybody what, their favorite film is out of the 11 we've gotten. I don't think I know yours. So I was curious what yours was.
Guess which one it is.
I mean, I don't want to be basic and say Empire, but I feel like it might be Empire.
So it could be. Sometimes it is, but I think as a whole, I think that A New Hope is still top of the key for me, because although Empire has, like, here's a weird part, because I love Empire and I love the Hoth stuff a lot, and as the years grow, I appreciate a lot of the Yoda and Luke stuff a lot, because I've adored Yoda since a kid. But to me as a kid, I was a Han guy from the get-go, and so every time we were with Han and Leia and Chewie and 3PO, I was just like, Fuck yeah,
All
man.
right.
Um, and I love you. I know that's the most beautiful and saddest thing I've ever seen in my goddamn life.
Yeah.
And I think the Force is with you, Skywalker, but you're not a Jedi yet. Like to me, that is aura. That
Ooh.
aura was founded that day, I think, in my opinion. But it's a weird thing because Return of the Jedi has my favorite sequence on all of Star Wars, which is like Luke saluting R2, and then Luke throwing the lightsaber, and like the whole sail barge battle. Like that to me, that is Star Wars ecstasy of just that sail barge of like, all right, there's bad guys and the good guys, and them duking it out for a bit. But I think as a whole, A New Hope is the one for me. I mean, again, I adore the original trilogy as a whole. I grew up watching the prequels in the theaters, minus Phantom Menace. So I really I like Phantom Menace a lot. Attack of the Clones is tougher for me because although my experience with it first time was like, okay, cool, there's a cool chase sequence in Coruscant, and then there's the novella stuff in the middle, and then Obi-Wan is being pissy, and then Anakin is being emo, but he's a teenager, so I get it because I'm gonna go through that phase, and then I got a crush on Natalie Portman, and then we get to Jango Fett. That's cool. That's a cool sequence. We got the asteroid sequence, and then Count Dooku and Yoda fighting. It's weird. And then Revenge of the Sith was the one before Force Awakens. Revenge of the Sith was my Star Wars experience in the movie theaters because I will never forget that. Like it was, I remember it was 2004, 2003. The teaser of like with the old footage of like Obi-Wan saying, from 1,000 generations, the Jedi were the guardians of peace and justice in the old Republic before the dark times, before the Empire, and then
the Empire.
cut to like just snap bits of the movie. And I remember the weekend, May of 2005, that Friday, I implored my dad, be like, Dad, please, let's get to the theater early. It's not that far from where we live, but let's just get there be early because I know it's gonna be a huge crowd. He's like, no, we'll make it there. And when he chose for us to go, I remember we were literally leaving that time the house we were at, and we had I think Univision or Telemundo, whatever. And then in the Spanish news, they were saying, breaking news all over Los Angeles. Revenge of the Sith, the new Star Wars movie is sold out all over Los Angeles.
Whew.
And I gave my dad the stinkiest look of like, I didn't say effing because I was a kid. I was like, I told you this would happen. And so, as my memory recalls, I didn't get to see that Friday, but I got to see it, I think, Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon. And again, for the kids who are watching eventually, if you want to watch this, but I thought that was the end of Star Wars. I thought that was the bookend for me of Star Wars. And I remember being like emotional towards the end. Like, all right, this is it. I'm saying goodbye to Star Wars. Now I have to grow up. And luckily, Star Wars never left me. And then, I have my journey with the sequels. But what about you, Jake? I'm assuming it's, can I guess? Or do you want to say it?
Well, one of your super chats might have already said it, but
okay. Which again, this is crazy to me. Thank you so much for the super chats, y'all. I didn't think I was allowed to get super chats, but if you're bothering to donate, thank you so much for that. Let's see. Before you go, I have some hopium for game updates as well. Jedi 3, Zero Company, KOTOR remake, etc. Gaming side, I hope so, man. I know there's a big fan base for the games. In due time, I think they will come to play. That Galactic Pod Racer game, I'm waiting for that one as well. Nina Maltini, probably.
You want an unpopular opinion when it comes to the game side of Star Wars?
What's up?
Still to this day, there are a handful of games that I really like, both old and new. That Rogue Squadron GameCube game is still my favorite to this day.
Jesus. Okay. No. I'm not okay with that just because I remember playing the Pod Race game on Nintendo 64.
Same.
And for a while, that was my favorite one.
I've got episodes 4 and 6 on the Super Nintendo over there in that box.
Yeah. You know what I played a lot of, and I'm not ashamed to admit it, the Lego games. The Lego Star Wars games.
Lego Star Wars. I've also got the PS2 copy of Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith down there, and it had the alternate ending that was exclusive to the game. So that final battle on Mustafar, you could either play as Anakin or Obi-Wan, and you had alternate endings that they made game-tailored cutscenes for.
All right. Before we go with further comments, I want to read the super chat, and then I want to let Jake talk about his experience with Star Wars with y'all while I go take care of something very quick. But I want to give shout out to Travis Mitchell. Thank you so much for your super chat. Super chat for saying A New Hope is better than Empire. I'll do you one better. I say I love Return of the Jedi more than both of them. I understand that. I completely as a kid I love Return of the Jedi. As a kid I love Return of the Jedi more than the other two. because I had a weird thing where, like, as a kid, I liked the threes out of the trilogies. Like, I was a Last Crusade guy. I was Back to the Future Part 3 guy. Although Jurassic Park, I think 1 was always better than 3 for me.
You weren't an Alien 3 guy, were you?
No. I was too young to watch Aliens. Like, no. But not a hot take, Travis Mitchell. I know on a good day, that's my favorite movie because of the ending with Luke and Vader. But yeah. Jake, can you just take the whole for a quick second when I go take care of something very quick?
Sure. So, yeah, that super chat brought it up. I will co-sign what Travis Mitchell said right there in that super chat. Return of the Jedi was my favorite back then, and all these years later, it's still my favorite now. I think it is the quintessential good versus evil story. Ronan talked about how the war in that film toward the end is his favorite sequence. My personal favorite Star Wars scene that I can really think of that encapsulates what a lot of the series means is the whole throne room sequence between Luke, Vader, and Palpatine. You have the good, you have the evil, and then you have Vader, who is literally and figuratively split down the middle as far as the good and the bad side of him, the side that he chooses to lean towards. Because just that talk between Luke and Vader prior to the throne room sequence, he says, "I feel the conflict in you. I know there is good in you." And then just that whole sequence where he says, Obi-Wan thought as you do, you don't know the dark side's power. And, really, when you look at a lot of media, like dark energies, dark forces are often used as a metaphor for addiction. And as somebody who struggled with addiction for a good chunk of their life, I was able to resonate with a lot of those feelings even more as I got older, where we have the power to fight the dark with the light, and we have the power to switch things around, just like Anakin did in the third act of that film. And I think it does a lot of great world building. The score is great, in particular the score in the last sequence where you have the reunion of the ghosts. And for the longest time, I'll say this. I have a kind of a fondness for the Phantom Menace. I enjoyed it a lot as a film because, to the best of my knowledge, that is, I think, the first movie I ever saw in a theater was the Phantom Menace. There might have been another one around there that I'm forgetting, but to the best of my knowledge, Star Wars: The Phantom Menace was the first one I saw. Still has to this day what I think is the best lightsaber action sequence with Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan facing Maul. And they're literally fighting, the track is called Duel of the Fates. They are fighting for the fate of Anakin Skywalker. And I love the way that's structured. Qui-Gon Jinn is one of my favorite Jedis throughout the entire, franchise. And I always had kind of a soft spot when it came to Star Wars. I had a soft spot for those early Jedi days, seeing the Council of Yoda, Mace, and seeing Qui-Gon out there actively in the field as a master with Obi-Wan as his apprentice. And it's one of the reasons I'm actually looking forward to, assuming this project ever comes out, James Mangold's Dawn of the Jedi project, to really see how the Jedi got their start. Because not only do I love the Jedi, I've always been interested to see them in their early days. You brought it up. It's way to defend Last Jedi. Yeah, so Last Jedi, it's pretty low on my list, but there are friends of mine that like it. I get why they do. It's personally not for me, but I'm not treat it like it's the worst film that's ever been made, because I've seen a lot of movies, seen a lot of bad movies, and The Last Jedi is far from the worst film I've ever seen. Now, I will give The Last Jedi credit, as I think it gives probably the best explanation out of any film as to how the Force works, the whole explanation behind what the Force really means, and how it's not just using abilities, using any sort of telekinetic ability. I really like a lot of the Luke and Rey stuff, and those are the strengths of Last Jedi for me. They're buried for me by a lot of the other things in Last Jedi that I don't particularly like, even though there are decisions made in that movie with Luke that I love. There are decisions made in that movie with Luke that I don't love, but it's besides the point. Ronan, I don't know how much of that you heard, but conversation was carrying pretty well. We were I was saying like what some of my favorites were. My fondness for Phantom Menace, because again, to the best of my knowledge, I think it was the first film I ever saw in a theater that I can remember. I mean, granted, I would have been like 4 at the time, so the memories are a little fuzzy. Uh, but no, I've like granted, there are projects, there are films and shows I love, films and shows that I just think aren't for me, and then there are a lot that are in the middle. But that's one of the beauties of a franchise that's gone on this long, is there's something for everybody.
Oh yeah, and then your taste grows. Sometimes, um, I think as a kid I was more into the Jedi stuff probably, but I remember quickly being like, no, I think the Imperial Rebellion stuff is the main thing I love, but equally as much, but it's not my main thing I need to on every project is the Jedi stuff. Like I love lightsabers, but like there's something about, and again, maybe it's just because of my uprising and my perspective in the world. I'm like, there was something about seeing those X-wing fighters and those jumpsuits, and you seeing how they take on the Empire. See that people like Han, of all people, helping the rebellion. When I was like, I don't know why this is a thing that's going for me, and which is why like, and again, sometimes when it's stuff dealt with that in the Jedi stuff, like Revenge of the Sith, it breaks your heart when you're like, all right, you're seeing battles play out, and then it just goes downhill after a certain point. And so I understand that. I mean, taste goes a long way, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I think one of the reasons why I love, especially the early years of Jedi that you saw in the prequels, is that you see what role that establishment plays in the world. Because yeah, the flashy lightsaber action is definitely cool. It's definitely well shot. But seeing why these characters are important to not only just each other's lives, but the bigger world around them, I always like seeing things in that regard, because I'm always in for world buildings. Because one of my, I mean, and I can't really say that this applies to every film, but kind of from a general sense, a lot of those big action spectacle pieces that you see, through a lot of them, I always look at it and I go, hey, that's really cool, but can we learn more about this place where the big action is happening? Otherwise, it just feels like a dead drop for the big visuals to happen. Like, I want to learn more about this place, and it's part of the reason why I would go on to love Andor as much as I did, is because it gets exactly into what makes these places important.
Yeah. And so to me, so is Phantom Menace your favorite movie, or is it Return of the Jedi? I always thought it
Oh,
was Return of the Jedi.
oh, it is. It is. I'm just
Yeah.
saying I have a fondness for Phantom Menace.
Oh yeah, I get that. I get that. Harrison James said, never a bad time to wear an X-Men hat. Absolutely. How's it going, guys? Happy 4th. Thank you, Travis Mitchell, again for the super chat. That Revenge of the Sith, personally for me, after all the Clone Wars building, yeah, I think for a lot of us who grew up with Revenge of the Sith, that like even after now experiencing the Clone Wars in its whole, that movie has more enhanced experience, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's right at the bottom of my top 5 as far as Star Wars go.
Mm.
Like, I have all 3 originals and Rogue One above it, but I still like Revenge of the Sith a lot.
Yeah, yeah. Harrison James said that, and low key after Andor, Rogue One is right up there for me too. That's another thing. Like Rogue One, I always liked it a lot. It was up there. I think it's like OG trilogy, Revenge of the Sith, and then Rogue One and Force Awakens. And then I remember being like, Rogue One, it just on a vibe of its own. And then Andor, to me, is better than Rogue One, but also Andor enhances Rogue One now that you see it. I remember then that was a big plug for them. They're like, you will never see Rogue One the same again after Andor. I'm like, what do you mean? And then you see Andor, you're like, oh my God. Yeah, I get it now. I get why I won't see it the same way.
Yeah, Andor's like the extra credit that really enhances Rogue One.
Yeah. Yeah. I can respect it, Jake. It tastes a banger. Yeah. Not a gamer. Haven't played video games since Skate 3. Ha ha ha. But Lego Star Wars 1 and 2, Battlefront 2. Yes, Battlefront. Revenge of the Sith PS2, The Force Unleashed were great. Yep.
Oh,
I
man.
remember seeing that all on the racks when I was a kid. Oh, yeah.
Yep, I've got most of those. The only one I don't have are the Lego ones, but I own all the other ones physical.
Yeah. Jurassic Park 3 has the badass scene where Grant's friend jumps with a parachute and kicks a pterodactyl in the face to save a kid. Rest of the movie is good. Yeah, I like the whole cage stuff for the pterodactyls. Yeah. Glad you brought it up. It's why I defend Last Jedi when Luke pulls a saber on Ben. Listen, people like that stuff a lot. I respect the stuff for that of Last Jedi. I think it's a well-made movie, but as a whole, it's not my cup of tea. There's elements I like. There was elements they teased I wanted to explore. I'm like, okay, go there. Where like,
yeah,
I think Luke at one point said at the height of the Jedi Order, they let a Sith, Darth Sidious, take over them and rule the galaxy. And then Rey hits back, but you were the one who brought back Vader to the light side. You were the one who did that. And I was like, this right here, explore it more.
Yeah.
And again, I've said it on our friends' streams over and over again that like I rather watch the director and the Jedi, the documentary of making of the Last Jedi, than the Last Jedi film. Now, granted, I had a great experience watching that film in the movie theater. It's just that when I thought about it myself, not letting the world and think about it and enhance me in it, but then I revisit it. I'm like, it's just some stuff that doesn't hit for me as well. But I give props to a lot of people who are into it. I know our friend Johnny is a huge Last Jedi guy. I remember liking it and doing a like video review for it when it came out. But again, a lot of stuff also with movies and shows, it's not just how you feel about it the first time you've seen it. It's how you feel about it when you live with that movie in your life for a while now.
Yeah, how it sits.
Yeah.
For me. I even made this point earlier. Last Jedi is not my cup of tea ultimately, but there are parts in it that I really think work. I think it's got, probably out of any film, it gives the best explanation as to how the Force actually functions and works. I love that stuff a lot. The Luke and Rey stuff I really like a lot too. But one of the things that I really wanted them to explore more, because again, I love whenever they establish more of the Jedi lore. Whenever Luke talks about, all those ancient texts that were under the island, like I wanted to see more of that stuff, and they just kind of do away with it very quickly, and then they quickly address it in one of the other flashbacks. I'm like, no, like that right there, the lore of like this new generation of Jedi, what they learned from those texts, what those texts entail. I want to know more of that. But then all they did was talk about it. They told and didn't show. I don't really hear you, Ronan. I think you're muted, buddy.
Every time someone Luke cares about his threat, he reacts in anger. He nearly kills his father for anything. Leia, with Ben, he saw the death that everyone reacted in anger. It's very in character. I get that perspective, but I'm also the perspective like, okay, that stuff of him threatening and getting angry, that was before he truly became a Jedi. I think that the moment he became a Jedi was when he threw down the lightsaber. That's when he became a true Jedi. And so by the time his nephew comes down the line, I feel like it should have been like, well, if you flip Vader, this should be quote unquote a cakewalk.
Like you knew all the stuff that Vader did, but you refused to give up on him. The first sign Ben showed signs of being evil, you thought he had to go.
Yeah. So again, it's just perspective. How I'm like, I think that should have been more spent time with. But again, it was very much a Rashomon moment of like perspectives of how Ben saw it and how he saw it. Phantom Menace gets better and better with me with time. I agree.
I think so.
My personal favorite of the sequel trilogy. I related more with Luke as a character at the time, LOL, but I get why it doesn't resonate the same way everyone. That's fair. I think fair. And to that point, Jake, that's why I love the Clone Wars so much. Not only is it a great show, but does so much character and world building for the franchise at large.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. No matter how good or bad some projects may be, I'll never forget the feeling of seeing Boba Fett being a hero. Like I always knew he could be when I was a kid, and he struck home with that one. That one's again. That's another one that, as a whole, doesn't work for me. I think there are shades of it that work, like his perspective with the Sand People and all that stuff. I think that works, but by the time we get to the present time, he's done that badass sequence with the stormtroopers, and so I felt that they pitched us a gangster show, and we saw gangster-esque stuff here and there, but it wasn't a full-on gangster show. And again, just as a whole, my cup of tea wasn't for me as a whole. I revisit portions of it, not the whole thing. But I think that there's still more to do with Boba Fett, and I hope that they took in a lot of feedback, good and bad, of that show, and see what they might do with that character. Because again, I think it was Alex from Star Wars explained that asked John Favreau was like, "Is Cobb Vanth okay?" He's like, "Oh yeah, he's still out there." I'm like, "All right, cool. I'm happy with that." The frustrating part of The Last Jedi is the three main storylines don't have an escalation of conflict. It's repeating the same beats until the third act, so it feels like filler. Yeah, to understand. And again, Poe Dameron's my favorite character of the sequel trilogy, and I kind of like what he went through the sequel trilogy, but it was like stop, go, and like by the time we get to Last Jedi, I think what I took it as at one point was like, so you telling him to like just follow orders without hesitation, blindly follow orders. even though something feels shady and something like that, I don't think is a good idea to throw, especially with people in the military. Of like, no,
And
do as you say with your period. And it's like,
and
no,
has sadly gotten very topical in the last number of years.
yeah, and again, I'm not excusing that he was a hothead. Of course, he was a hothead, and he was supposed to be reprimanded, which I appreciated. But to just blindly follow leadership, I don't know. That perspective was like that could have been executed better. And then don't even get me started with Phasma.
Yeah, and
I feel bad for Gwendolyn Christie. But again,
yeah,
I don't work in the industry. I can only be like my feedback as a viewer. I'm like, well, there's that thing right there that like that sticks out like a sore thumb. But who else?
I think that might be a reason why I like The Force Awakens significantly more than the other two, is because my favorite character from the sequels is Finn. And I really liked what they did with him in that first movie. I've said that I do enjoy Rey as a character, but I think Finn would have been a better central character just because of how they started him. Like
Yes.
as that renegade stormtrooper,
Yes.
having that be someone to garner in the next generation of Jedi is, I think, really, really profound storytelling. Like these cannon fodder enemies that are meant to be the things that take down the Jedi is now the thing that makes sure that they get to live on and go into the next generation. And there's a lot of potential there that they had in that first film, when he has that sequence with the saber before it goes to, who it goes to. I'm like, all right, this is what we've been building to. And then he really got sidelined in episode 8 and 9, which was disappointing for me.
Yeah, yeah, and John has expressed his frustration. I'm not a writer and can't write a better movie, but when the resistance realized they're being tracked and Leia's put on coma, I feel like they should have suspected the stormtrooper as the Maul. Valid, I think that's an angle they could have looked at it. The idea the resistance has no idea who this guy is and Leia's unconscious to defend him, and half the ship turns on him, Poe helping him, and Rose escape to prove themselves could have been better. Yeah, Harrison James does say that novelization Phasma is so much better. That's what I've been hearing, that her novel is better. The novelization of Last Jedi and Force Awakens is better. That's what I've been hearing for a lot of this stuff. Travis was saying killing Fennec Shan, revealing that Thrawn has Django's clone template and is using it for his non-troopers would be great for momentum for both. I think that could be true. Although now don't kill Fennec Shan. Like that's what Jeru in season 1 really bummed me out, because I'm like, Ming-Na Wen is a huge Star Wars fan, and there's so much potential you could do with that character with what that actress gives, and so. I don't know. Hopefully, if she does part away, hopefully it's in earnest. And God damn it, Darren. Yes, thank you, my friend. Thank you. Yeah,
live long and prosper.
Live long and prosper, dude. Yeah. You're almost there, Darren. You're almost there. If you want to join the stream, Darren, you're more than welcome to join. I'm only gonna go for like I think 10 or 20 more minutes. But you're more than welcome to join, Darren, if you want to. Just let me know in the comments.
You bringing up that character too, saying, hey, don't kill them, because I think there's a lot more you can do there. That's another thing that really brings episode 8 down for me, is I feel like Snoke was incredibly wasted. They really wasted that character, setting him up as, kind of that generation's Palpatine, only to show Palpatine in the next film after that. And, granted, I get, that he was meant to show like Ben's descent into the full-on darkness, if you will, but we really knew nothing about him before that.
Yeah, I agree. And again, I have my feelings of how they used Andy Serkis and how he's way better used than Andor, in my opinion. But that's the whole thing. And then what else we got to talk about? But yeah, Mandalorian and Grogu IMAX special look event, phenomenal experience, great footage. If they stick the landing, there's gonna be an awesome movie come May 22nd. And,
it was that same footage that they showed at CinemaCon, right?
Yeah, I talked to a couple of friends, and I had seen like a minute or two of it at Star Wars Celebration Japan a year ago. But yeah, it is really good. I told everybody that it was surreal seeing Zeb and Sigourney Weaver in a Star Wars movie, and it was even trippier, probably just as much, seeing Mando and Grogu, because this was before COVID. This show came out, and so the notion that this character since pre-COVID make their way to a movie now, it was surreal. And then hearing that theme in the movie theater on an IMAX screen, I was just like, oh man, this is what I wish whenever season 1 or 2 are coming out. I'm like, can I just pay to go see these episodes in the movie theater? I'll happily pay it. I'm already paying for Disney Plus. Just take my money to go see in the movie theater. That's it.
Right. If anything, you're paying the same for arguably a better experience.
Yeah, I agree. I would think. Yeah. LOL, Darren. I'll pass for this one, but thanks for the offer. Have a great rest of the stream. Good night, Darren. Rest up, man. Yeah, thank you. Who's everyone's favorite Glub Shido? um, man. For those who don't know, and Harrison James, you correct me if I'm wrong because I am a little tired. So I'm trying to memorize it. Glub Shido is like a deep cut, right? Like a character or something you wouldn't expect, but just pop up, but it's there. Um,
Yeah.
Mine is whenever. Hmm. To me, the one that I was like, oh my gosh, this character's there. There's this wolf kind of character species they introduced in Force Awakens, almost like a werewolf like creature that was inspired by a concept art that Ralph McQuarrie had done years ago, but it was you always saw this creature from behind holding a gun, but they fully realized it in Force Awakens, and then in these past few shows, I think in either Ahsoka or Mandalorian, somewhere I saw that creature and I was like, yo, that's from Force Awakens. What the hell?
Yeah.
So that was cool to see. That's kind of my Glub Shield. That's one of those Glub Shields. Again, I have a ton right now that I can think of, but my brain's scrambling on a bunch of ways. But what's your Glub Shield? What's your favorite Glub Shield, Jake?
You kind of took mine. It was one of the few that I remembered because at the moment I can't think of any.
Yeah, I mean, whenever we here's the weird part. I consider it this way, but whenever we hear aliens or creatures talk, not basic, i.e., not English, when they're talking in their natural like alien race, I love that. That to me goes a long way because you're not pandering for English speaking audiences to understand what the creature's saying. No, they can read subtitles. If international stories, movies, and shows have taught us that, and anime does that, we can handle that with Star Wars. And I appreciate that when
the fact that some humans understand that dialect. Again, I'll go back to Phantom Menace whenever they're on the planet before the race starts. You have Anakin, you have little tween Anakin talking in the dialect to Saboba, yeah. You have that whole dialogue there. I love that sequence, but it just tells you it's like, hey, this is like a 12-year-old kid, a really smart, 12-year-old kid.
Talking trash.
This dialect, yeah, he's just smack talking and no one even knows.
Yeah. Travis Mitchell says, I have an outline I wrote from what my episodes 10 to 12 would be, and I'm pretty sure you guys would like it with what you're talking about. Is it the wolf creature we see in Skeleton Crew? No. That is also another one. I remember being like, yo, is that from the cantina? Is that a space werewolf? No, it's this creature. I'll look it up to see if I can find it. But like it was first introduced in Force Awakens. I know that.
Yeah, because when I think you first see it when Han, Finn, and Rey go into the cantina with Maz Kanata. I think that's the first time you see that creature.
Exactly. Yeah. I think it's in the cantina sequence, or the.
Granted, I haven't seen the sequels in a minute.
Yeah, I think it is called. What's his name? Husk Thug. I think that's the alien race name. Here we go.
Okay.
That one.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Okay.
That's the one. I remember being like, I like that. I want to see more of that. And again, Maz Kanata's castle. There's a ton of creatures. I'm like, no, do more with those creatures. Like,
right.
See where they go with that. And so I've liked seeing that.
That's the same way I felt whenever you see in episode 4, whenever they're in the cantina the first time, and Luke and Obi-Wan go into the cantina, find Han Solo and Chewie in the corner. It's like, wait, what are all these other aliens around here? What the hell are these guys about?
Yeah. Paula 1966 says, hello, do you think Keanu Reeves would play a great Darth Revan? I think so, but it can't feel like Neo or John Wick. It can't. As soon as I smell Neo or John Wick, that's where you pull me away. Even though I know it's Keanu Reeves behind it, like he has to disappear into that mask.
The same way he did for something like John Constantine.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, John Constantine doesn't feel at all like Neo. It feels almost like the inverted version of that. Yeah. And so I think he would make a great Darth Revan, but again, it has to be he has to disappear into the character. I can't spot or feel Neo or John Wick in my opinion.
Can we get a Constantine sequel, by the way?
There was some cool random bounty hunter types in the Force Awakens, like some big lizard dude, I think. Yeah. To me, the Crimson Cidothano, there's like very like buccaneer looking dude. That was my favorite like background character.
The guy that had like that like X-shaped strap across him, I think. Was that
I
The
think
one,
no. It was this
no.
dude. He had like a first mate who was like a small creature looking dude. Um, but he was my favorite. That like I've been wanting to see more of him. There we go. This guy.
Oh, okay, yeah. The red top made it
Yeah,
clear. Mhm.
that's one that I was like I want to see more of that character. Um, but yeah. Uh, fun fact: Canteen Band's music genre is called. I've heard. Yes,
Yes, it
I've
is.
seen that. Yep. Um,
I'm sure they had fun writing that into the lore.
speaking of music,
I, I, I thought you were about to go for a really bad segue,
no,
but I'm glad you
no,
said
no, no, no.
music.
Um, I don't know how the music is going to be for everybody, but in 2 hours, no, in about 38 hours, I think, if my math is right, celebration tickets go on sale, y'all. I am nervous. It is an experience trying to get these badges. I know when I got my badges for Japan, I was en route to Disneyland for Star Wars Night, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, please don't let the signal cut out." Um, so I'm wondering, is everybody here on the chat? And Jake, are you going to Star Wars Celebration? Is it something that you're interested to see if you can make through, or how you feel about it? Because that's the thing on Wednesday. I'm like, as soon as that's my main focus, and when that's done, I can relax.
It's something I would love to do, but I don't know if I'll be able to swing it this time, unfortunately. Yeah,
I get that, yeah,
with finances being what they are.
right. But yeah, man, it's 50 years of Star Wars, which is weird to think that
Yeah.
I'm seeing that number play out. I remember how a few years ago, Celebration was celebrating 40 years of Star Wars, which I'm like, oh, where has time gone? But yeah, man, I'm very looking forward to see how much they go out for this celebration. Um, they already announced that Hayden Christensen, Ian McDermott, Anthony Daniels, Michelle Ang, and D. Bradley Baker are going to be going. They're the first wave
Nice.
of guests going. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a Bad Batch reunion, y'all. I want to be able to meet them. I've had multiple chances to meet D. Bradley Baker, but just either health or money wise weren't in my favor. So making it for like, damn it, I gotta,
Yeah.
go see the Bad Batch reunion as some way or another to enjoy that notion. But
It's bad to say that I really want to meet D also, but there are like roles that he has up here that like eclipse his Star Wars roles for me that hold a lot more resonance with me.
I get that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he is one of the most versatile, voices that I think we've really gotten in the last, couple decades.
Oh
Because,
yeah.
because for any of my comic book fans out there, he's Ra's al Ghul in the Arkham games,
Hmm.
and in the X-Men Legends games, he's Nightcrawler. So there's that.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be interesting, y'all. I mean, the benefit for me is that I'm from LA, so it's gonna be, it's I said somewhere, Chewy, we're going home. Chewy, we're home. I'm literally gonna be going home to Los Angeles for a celebration, and so I can imagine how hectic the traffic's gonna be for this. I know that same day hotels are going to go on sale, the block hotel, so I'm gonna do my best to like get a hotel and just pray that they don't charge me instantly. They're like, all right, have my info and stuff on file, but don't charge me till I check in. Damn it! Like, um, and yeah, man, I'm also worried because where we're at right now in these times, how I feel about the international community, how they're gonna make their way into the U.S. Um, for this event for a weekend, and how's that gonna be hectic? I mean, I'm already getting worried about the World Cup, and that's this year, and in what 2 months, 3 months, and so I wonder how this is gonna be in a year, for people out of state to travel and be part of this event. So I'm worried about that.
So, yeah, I know. Again, I don't know if I'll be able to swing Celebration this time, but I am definitely going to do it. And even though they haven't announced this yet, we can both assume that this is happening. They're going to wide release the movie into theaters for its 50 years. You can pretty much assume that that's happening. So that's something I'm definitely going to make a point to go and do whenever they, say, hey, it's happening this date. I'm like, all right, cool. Because it's one of the only films I haven't seen yet in a theatrical re-release / release. The only ones I have yet to see in the theater are episodes 4 and 5. So, um,
The big daddies of them all, man. Those are them
yeah,
movies to watch. Yeah,
yeah.
last time I saw them in the movie theater was And I should have shout out earlier, but shout out to Star Wars Doctrine, my friend Logan, who I met 7 years ago. I went to a 9 movie marathon, Jake, in the movie theaters. My ass was in the movie theater for 24 hours or over
Your ass
24
is
hours.
probably sore.
Well, luckily, that's the thing. I had done a movie marathon for Force Awakens leading up to it. So all six and then Force Awakens. And that was when you had just the regular, like, put down seats that you had to sit down for like almost 2 days. I was like, oh my gosh. But I had recliners for the 9 movie marathon. But again, it's 9 movies. And that was the last time I saw New Hope and for in Empire in the movie theater. I think a year ago or this year they were showing The Empire Strikes Back at the Academy Museum, but they were charging almost
I
like
think it would have been last year because last year is a milestone year.
yeah, and it'll be very interesting. I mean, it is announced we are gonna get the re-release next year. I think in February. I think IMAX or somebody else gonna be pushing that a big bad way. And from what we've been hearing, it's the original versions of A New Hope. It's not the the special edition ones. It's the original. I would assume film print we
Yeah.
got out of A New Hope, and I'm gonna make an effort probably to get to LA before for Celebration to see it re-released either digitally and any of the movie theaters, mom and pop movie theaters that still play stuff on film. So I'll probably make my way to the New Beverly Cinema or the Vista Theater because I know Tarantino owns those and they might be showing stuff. I think
Is the I don't know how close or far this is to you. Is the Waterworks Theater still up around where you are, or has that been closed down?
Waterworks Theater.
Yeah,
Let me
because I
see.
know it was really big in like early 2000s, but I don't even know if it was one of the ones that survived COVID or not.
So it seems that it's only in Pittsburgh. I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. That's the thing that's showing right now. Only in Pittsburgh, I think.
Okay,
Waterworks Cinema. Yeah.
yeah, I've been curious to make my way out to some of those because there used to be more of that type that exists in the world, but the world's changed.
Yeah, and to be quite frank, if I can watch A New Hope in the Grauman Chinese Theater, 50 years since seeing that old footage from the 70s, like I really hope I can make an effort maybe to get a drone or something like that and like shoot like similar shots. The way people shot that homemade footage of like people running around the line to watch A New Hope or at that
Yeah.
time Star Wars and do that 50 years later, same shot. And now, now the world is returning back to the movie theaters for Star Wars. Now episode 4 A New Hope and see how people
And
like
if anything, get one of those little frames over your lens to make it look like a quote unquote lower aspect ratio.
yeah.
Because there are actually a lot of, and this is the film degree guy in me coming out here, but there are actually a lot of really simple ways to put things in front of your camera lenses to make it look older. Because, like, this is just a random example, but we got a snowstorm over here on my side of the woods. Probably what I think end of January, start of February. It snowed
Hmm.
really big for like almost 2 weeks, and I took this just this little thing right here that's got a really good camera in it. I put it up against a window frame to just capture all the snow falling down. And because of the specific window frame it looked like I was, holding, an early gen camera,
Camera.
essentially. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just seeing that, it was like, see, just with this little bit of thinking and one device, I did that. And, this is what I tell people who are trying to get, their way into the industry too, which I mean, it's what I went to college for. It's what I would love to land myself in one day. But with how advanced technology is, you know, you have the resource. Have got way more resources at your disposal back when the big guys did when they were making those movies.
Yeah. Like, I mean, they would have killed for a camera like the one on my phone and whatnot. And
Yeah, like if you have that kind of camera, a basic, editing know-how and a $40 green screen, you've got way more at your disposal than they had.
yeah. Yeah. I agree. So looking forward to seeing the original film back in theaters. And I think as we get closer, and I think I'm going to probably most likely do a live stream on Wednesday, TBD. Hopefully everything pans out. After uh, making the way to try to get badges. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I can get my badges on Wednesday, and then after that, I can be on next team. Like, all right, I'll stream for like an hour and invite people who want to talk about that and maybe a little bit more of Maul Shadow Lord and just geek out that we're going to Star Wars Celebration and that Um, that also, even though we're going to this event, we're not gonna. At least for me, I just can't. I can't do it. It's part of my DNA. I'm not gonna ignore what's happening in the world. So even though I'm there to celebrate and have fun, I will also be, aware that there might be stuff happening in the world, and not just be like, no, I don't ignore the real world. There's Star Wars happening. I know. Let's make sure that even though we're enjoying stuff with Star Wars, we have the privilege to enjoy stuff right now. That our our,
Yeah.
our country, no, there's not a lot of stuff happening in our country. Luckily, that the world is being affected by us. The world is being affected right now, and that that you know to quote Andor, I have friends everywhere, and so hopefully we can have a good time, but also remember why that this movie, this franchise hopefully teaches those to be like, let's be better to each other as a species, not as a country, not as a nation, but as a species of humans. Like, just be kind and better to each other, no matter, regardless of our background, regardless of our upbringing, and regardless of our age, gender, and all that stuff. So I hopefully that goes a good way for
Is
Star Wars Celebration 2027.
I mean, hey, you know what? We all bleed the same color,
Yeah.
so
Yep. Yep.
that
Um,
shouldn't matter.
to close out, to start wrapping things up. Also, I couldn't get names right now, but Lucas Museum announced that you can get founding memberships to their museum, which gives you access to events before their opening on the 26th of September. I could be wrong if that's in the wrong date. I just know it's in September, so I know I'm gonna be
Okay.
going to LA back in September to hopefully go to when the museum opens on its first day. But are you eager to visit this museum, Jake? Or no? Are you a big museum guy or no?
Depending
I
on
was
what
as
I'm
a
going
kid.
there for, I mean, depending on what I'm going there for, it would be kind of a give and take because, kind of like you, I was really into it as a kid. And, like I was really into things like natural history museums, you know these aquariums in them that had kind of museum exhibits. I mean, there
Yeah,
were like it was kind of a give and take thing back then too. If it's tailored to something that I already had a pre-established interest in, then yeah, like I don't think just the feeling of going in a museum does for me what it used to, but that's not to knock the experience. That's just because I've had it a few times. But if somebody's going for that kind of thing that hasn't and is curious about it, I definitely encourage doing it at least once. And hey, if you decide to do it more, great. If you decide it's a one and done, then hey, at least you did it.
yeah, yeah. And but yeah, hopefully we can make it to this year for Star Wars, for the Lucas Museum art. And I know people either not gonna go this year or they're gonna just go during celebration, but I feel like it's gonna be hectic to go both to that celebration con and the museum. I mean, I think we're in the same vicinity, but yeah, man. Also, it was cool. I don't know if you saw it, but like today, both Miss and Mr. Lucas gave out a little "Happy May the Fourth" to everybody
I
bit
did.
promo
Yeah,
that they were doing
I
for the
did
for
see
the
that.
museum. I was like, that's cute. That's awesome. That
Yeah.
the creator and his wife are saying hi to everybody in the fan base. So I thought it was a sweet,
Mhm.
sweet deal. Um, but yeah, folks. To wrap things up, Jake, are you caught up with Maul?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Before we go, how do you feel about it? What you think of the finale?
Whew. Um, yeah, I really, really loved not only the finale but the series itself. So glad this was animated because while I think I would have enjoyed it in live action, I think it would have been limiting to what they could do. And you're talking to somebody that like, yeah, I went to school and studied how different films are made, but I have a special spot in my heart for animation because it exceeds what is physically possible with a human body or even the most advanced CGI. You can really go hog wild with the animation, and there are some shows that were airing around this time that had, in my eyes, less visually pleasing animation. So this was definitely something good to kind of balance that out. I don't need to elaborate further on that one, but
Uh huh.
but no, I really loved the whole premise of this because I mean remember always thinking, like after when you see the end of episode one, the Phantom Menace, and they have that whole thing of hey, like there are always two, master and an apprentice. Of course, Maul the apprentice fell in that movie, and when we see more of him in these future projects, I wanted to see him in that master role because he's always been a character I enjoyed. and I really enjoyed him taking Devin through this series, and you know, it's was also one of those series where the quote unquote good and evil is very gray, like. Like Maul's not a good guy, but he might be better than what the alternative is. It's like bad or worse. It's like you're going back and forth between either one of those things, and it brought me back to one of my favorite sequences from Rebels. Whenever you see Maul and Savage fighting Palpatine in the throne room, it's like, hey, these guys aren't great, but they would probably be preferable to any sort of carnage that the Emperor can rain down onto things. But no, I mean, granted, it was a little annoying how early in the morning these episodes were releasing, but man, they were entertaining to watch. And as far as series right now that have been part of the Disney Star Wars era that have released on Disney Plus, this is up there with my favorites.
Nice.
What about you?
Yeah, it's up for me. I mean, to me, Rebels and Mandalorian and are still my shows that mean a lot to me. And I love Bad Batch as well. That means a lot to me. But I think Maul just skyrocket all the way to Rebels and their Mandalorian vibe of you all. Like, wow, I can't wait to see what they do more.
I hold those very close. I hold Skeleton Crew really close, and there are like my whole exposure to Disney Star Wars over the last number of years. It's been a little bit of up and down. There have been things I liked, things I didn't, but I can't really think of a complaint that I had going through this series.
Yeah, especially with pacing, with dialogue, with character joy. Just
and oh my god, Sam just nailed it. In this series,
I'm so happy with the new. I call it muscle. When you can explore more with the character, he built muscle. With this character in this series for me, so
really
I was
stretched his acting chops.
Yeah, Travis Mitchell did say Sid Thano, the Crimson Corsair. He and his crew found Kix, Latran clone, and stasis, and bring him into the crew. So this is the first story for you to tell in the sequel era if he wants. Yeah, I heard about that. I almost read that that audiobook version, if you will. So I'm trying to pick that one up one day. Maybe if I have the chance to look, I'll pick it up. I'd love to, but I live on the opposite side of the world. LOL I think it was for Celebration. But yeah, one day I'll make the pilgrimage though. Oh boy, don't get me started on the World Cup. I feel you on that, Ronan. Yeah.
I don't know if you want to show like any of this or not, but and I don't know how much you've talked about this of your own, just like the projects and stuff in Star Wars as a whole. I just sent you this if you want to look at it and like show audience right quick. That's how I have the projects up against each other.
Is it on Twitter?
Yeah, I just sent it there.
Okay. Let's see if I can pull it up. But yeah, hell, you can shoot a whole movie on iPhone 28 days later. Yeah, I mean, the actor Sean Baker, I think Sean Baker, is the director's name. I think who did Nora or whatever. He did his first film was on iPhone. So I remember being a big deal, and I was like, yeah, I think it is possible. Fingers crossed for you, Ronan. Thank you, Harrison James. Yeah. I can't wait to see Maul and Devin's relationship in season 2 with how we left off. Yeah, especially those last 2 shots or 3 shots of you. Like, man, what does this mean for the future of this corner of the galaxy? Sam's such a goat. The scream of pain as Maul are just so chef kiss. Yeah, when he was having that sequence in episode 8, like, you did it. Like, I was like, oh man, both Maul and Sam are going through it now, and I'm like, I'll offer you guys a hug, man. It's okay, man. Yeah, man. It's it was awesome, man. Awesome. Okay, so let me see if I can download this. File saved. So this is your ranking of the films? Yeah. Okay. Let's see.
I'm prepared for some of these placements to get a little bit of heat.
A little bit. Read into it if you will, folks. But yeah, folks, this is Joypad Jake ranking of the films of Star Wars. So we got number 1, Return of the Jedi. Number 2, New Hope. Number 3, Empire. Number 4, Rogue One. Number 5, Episode 3. Number 6, Episode 1. Number 7, Episode 7. Number 8, Episode 2. Number 9, Solo. Number 10, Rise of Skywalker. Number 11, Last Jedi. You know what? The the first 2, 4, 2, 4, 7. The first 7, I see it. I see it. Now, how I would rank them is different, I think, for me. But I see the first 7 rankings. I see that. I think that's how it makes my list as far now. We are a few weeks away from Mandalorian and Grogu, so who knows how that movie will be placed in this category. But no, not too shabby. Not too shabby. How do you guys feel? How does the chat feel?
Yeah, I was kind of curious about that.
I still need to finish Clone Wars and Rebels. Yeah, Cameron Walker, please do so. I mean, Clone Wars season 7 is just phenomenal. I mean, the last 4 episodes is almost I consider it a damn movie. In my opinion, the last 4 episodes of Clone Wars is a damn movie, in my opinion. And if that's a movie that rivals any of those movies, in my opinion, that's just my current. And Rebels is just magic.
Yeah, episode of Rebels. That's what I was trying to say. That I brought up where it's Maul and Savage versus Vader.
So that's Clone Wars.
Vader versus. Wait, did I say Rebels?
Yeah, you said it earlier today, and I didn't want to correct you, but yeah, you said it again. Clone Wars. Clone Wars is where Sidious versus Savage and Maul. I know, me too. Yeah.
But no, that is like one of my single favorite Star Wars episodes still to this day. I love that so much. But I've always been a big fan of Savage Press, so there's that too.
Jason McDuck, how you doing, man? How you doing? May the 5th be with you. Thank you. Cinco de Mayo, man. Cinco de Mayo. Solo is underrated. Yeah, here's the thing that I really like Solo. It's not the worst film of all time. Again, I would put it after my ranking 7. That would be Solo because I do like the movie, but it's again just choices with the character and
it was fun for me. There were some interactions I liked, but I didn't find it to be nearly as memorable.
Cameron Walker does say that I know that Clone Wars is in chronological order. Well, release-wise, I don't know. You have to find the right a good link to tell you all right, watch this episode in this order because I think in Disney Plus they're scrambled in a different way.
Yeah, they've done that with a handful of their shows, sadly.
Yeah.
So if you look up the air order, then it'll probably be a little different than how Disney has it.
Yeah. Solo's a tricky one for me to rank because I do like it, but I don't know if I like it more than the mainline stuff. Yeah.
It's fair.
Saga is Saga.
You don't necessarily have to.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's gonna wrap things up for tonight, y'all. We did over an hour of talking Star Wars on May the 4th here in the Pacific Standard Time of the USA. Thank you so much to the chat for spending time with me and for those who super chatted. Very appreciative. That was very kind of you. Jake, my friend, thank you so much for taking the time out of your night to hang out. Please plug yourself. Let people know where they can find you, what you're working on.
All right. You can find me right there. Joypad Jake on YouTube. That's my own show that I do on Sundays, Jake's Lost Levels, where I go through the process of getting a bunch of lost game data back. We just started Batman Arkham Knight this previous Sunday. We have a Lego Batman stream, not this upcoming Sunday due to it being Mother's Day, but the Sunday following, we have a Lego Batman 3 Beyond Gotham stream to pave the way for Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight coming out at the end of May. I have an Injustice 3 character wish list video that'll be dropping tomorrow, and a schedule of videos about this long that I'm trying to get through before the end of May to kind of clear my slate, including some Let's Plays, some rankings, a couple bonus videos that I have stored away. And that's pretty much it. I'm getting close to 2K subs and monetization, so I'm trying to hit both by the time we get too far into the summer.
Beautiful. Go follow and subscribe to Joypad Jake's channel, y'all, and his socials. Cameron Walker does say that I meant to say Clone Wars episodes are in chronological order.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that makes it more convenient then.
Yeah. Appreciation for a full one, Ronan and Jake. May the 4th remain with us. Yes, my friend. The 4th, the Force is with us.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm wrapping up my coverage of Daredevil Born Again tomorrow. Tomorrow's the finale, so you'll be seeing stuff from my channel. Each week until the movie comes out, I am dropping my reactions to the show with other friends, which is the series I called Road to Mandalorian and Grogu that you can go watch on my channel. There's a bunch of stuff that I've already been dropping, but that's what we'll be doing for the next few weeks until the movie comes out. And y'all, I think Punisher is next, and then Spider Noir, and then I think depending on what's after those main things, I'm gonna be dropping a couple anime stuff because I've had some stuff in the tank that I've been wanting to put out, but I just wanted to time it right. That way, not too much overflow is happening on my channel, but that you have something to see on my channel every week that's different. And when stuff is ending, another thing is beginning. So
Yeah.
we'll see how that goes. But yeah, folks, like the video, subscribe to the channel. The more the channel grows in numbers, the more I can do crazy stuff, the more I can make this as a living. And when I can make this as a living, then I could pay for travel stuff. So if one day, or if before we get to Celebration, if this channel can help cover some of that stuff for Celebration, that'd be awesome. I'd be like, all right, cool. YouTube brought me to Celebration with either hotel, ticket. That'd be awesome. So, and again, the more the channel grows, the more opportunities can come my way. And I have a lot of crazy ideas I'm going to do Star Wars related, just on Star Wars. There's a whole stuff for Last of Us I want to do. There's stuff for X-Men that me and Joe Patrick are trying to work on that we want to do this year. And yeah, don't be surprised if the next few months you see a lot of stuff between our channels and between our friends' channels. So go also watch Chainsaw Reacts, Council Creators and his show on his channel. Go watch Party Nation, the one Lance Geek Drum and his channel and his show. And also go watch Nerdcast with our friend Eric Reloaded. And then sometimes you'll see me on the Film Junkies vodka streams. I'm trying to get Jake into it if we can. But yeah, folks, until then, may the Force be with you. Have a happy May the 4th. And in a few hours, celebrate Cinco de Mayo. This is the way. And as Cassian Andrew says, that I have friends everywhere.